And, you know, I'm not trying to belittle that. I think that's awesome. I think that just for my specific situation, being able to just borrow the cards for one weekend was what I needed. So, because I don't necessarily want to be jamming this for weeks and weeks and weeks. Although if I really fall in love with it, maybe I will try to actually invest in the actual deck. But, yeah. It's a pretty cool... I'm actually not going to even sleeve these. I'm just going to keep them in the box until the tournament comes. Just to keep them nice and fresh. And I think you do get charged. I don't remember reading all the fine print, but I'm pretty sure you can get charged if you return the cards in less than satisfactory conditions. So be aware of that if using something like Spare Deck. So they don't solve. It doesn't solve all the issues. It is still technically better to actually just own the cards, especially if you're going to be playing multiple tournaments. Like renting a deck is a terrible idea if you're going to be playing in this in multiple tournaments. I'm aiming just to play this particular build once, and I'm hoping that's all I need to get that deck tech to maybe make some prize, make a name for a card hoarder. I'm going to be back to Gainesville. Benny, you know I don't live there anymore. Okay, I'm playing Tron. Nice. Yeah, Tron's a good choice, Goblin Guy. What's in the agenda tonight? Just some play testing. I know free will. I mean, I can't stop him from blue screening. I actually was, although I don't know if Nathaniel wants to hand the keys over to me or that Chris would want to, but I'd be happy to let my rig be what we stream the coverage on. But I think Chris is really solid. I think it's unfortunate that he's blue screened twice. That's not his fault. Yeah. Pack some purges. I'm going to be playing at least one purge, Masta, if I were to take this. The other deck I'm playing, I don't think would be able to run purge, if that gives you some excitement. But anyways, or no, it could maybe run purge. Be greedy. Anyway, yeah, actually no, the other list I could take to the tournament could run purge. Yeah, purge is going to look really good. I mean, with the breakout decks, besides Tron probably being some of the grindy black decks and or the Jeskai Nahiri deck, purge is looking really good in your sideboard right now. Just a really efficient answer. Yeah. I mean, they get to get the first loot out of the Nahiri, but this is back when we were jamming the Kiki Chiki sideboard plan. That's not the case anymore, but it's something that I explored if I were to play like a Jeskai deck. Yeah. So, you know. But I don't necessarily want to play the Jeskai deck because that's the deck to beat. And I know you guys are like, whoa, but this is like what you've been practicing for weeks. I don't think it's going to be well positioned. Like, no matter what variant of Jeskai you try to put together, I don't think it's going to be that well positioned because there is going to be a lot of Tron. And other decks that can prey upon it. So I actually don't think... And I'm not just saying this to like, ooh, I gotta throw you guys off my chair. Like, no, I mean, like, you guys are here to support the stream, and I don't really worry about little things like people like, you know, coming to watch the stream just to be like, oh, what if I play against BrewSpy the GP? It's like, fine. But, you know, like, this is when we were like maybe running like a 1-1 ancestral split, and I've tried a lot of different things, and I gotta tell you, I think that no matter how many crumbles or even like a main deck boom you run, I still don't think it makes the Tron match great. You might get lucky sometimes. It also is possible to dodge it. It's going to be hard to dodge it, though, at this GP with how much I presume it's going to show. So, yeah, I mean, you got some options. It's me testing heavier on paths. Yeah, I mean, I think there's some options. I think there's a chance that you could... This is back when I was still trying to make the Thopter Sword work. This is a fun configuration. Fun as in it probably wouldn't work, but it has some cool tools, some cool things that it can do. Kind of like this. Kind of looks a little bit like that. Yeah, somewhat like this. But yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of iterations that we've gone through on the stream, and I still don't think it's quite where I want it to be. This is me trying out the Nahiri sideboard, but sounds like a meta for Lantern. Unicorn says, nice. Gunner says Cam's mess. No, it's not. Yeah, it's gonna be fuzzy. I mean, the issue is the lighting's not so good right now. So I mean, we can try color code and we try recolor coding. That's gonna work a little bit better. Anyways, so let's see. Can we get the iTunes on there? Solid. No, we're gonna be queuing up in a minute, Jin. I think we'll do something else tonight because, like, as much as I'd love to test, I actually just can't show you. I mean, I could show you guys like an earlier iteration of something that I thought about taking or that my teammates thought we could be taking to the GP. But with, like, I think unfortunately the fact that a Jeskai deck finished really nicely last weekend makes me just really just not want to play Jeskai coming up. So I think that's the unfortunate result. Gunner says better. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's a lot better now. I appreciate you saying something. Because I don't know if I was gonna mess with it. Yeah, I mean, I think no matter how many crumbles, I mean, okay, play set a crumble, great. How are you going to sideboard against the other decks of the format? Now, I looked at some other alternatives to fight Tron, which were to, let me open this again. Other options besides specifically crumble, you could run a heavy Ghost Quarter build and then also run some surgicals. I looked into that. That's not so bad. I still think you're not favored against Tron, but I mean, you're probably never going to be favored, but you can do some things to the list that make it a little bit more reasonable. Like, if I was to test this tonight, I just totally realized that the Ancestral is just not where I want to be. And what else? The core was unnecessary without that, and a couple Ghost Quarter. Like, there are ways to, you can, like, hedge the match. I actually cut a path, by the way. Super greedy. I can like, show you guys, like, a version of the deck that my team and I thought about taking to cut the recall, but won't be taking just because of what happened with the Jeskai deck doing really well and kind of making this just not really a great option anymore. But I can show you something similar to what I thought about taking, and you guys can just kind of see how that plays out and see that it does kind of still get smashed by Tron. Anyway. I was trying to fight them a different way than just crumbles. I was going to try to fight them with, like, surgical. Oh, you're fine, Benny. No worries. So yeah, what I did was I ran some Ghost Quarter. I was thinking about running, like, a bunch of Ghost Quarter, like 2 or more Ghost Quarter, and then Ghost Quarter plus surgical does produce what you need it to do. Or the Boom Bust plus that. Can we Bruce Spellweaver Hughes? I remember you telling me about that, Jin. Just Another Magic says, but you've been practicing with this so much. I've also been practicing a lot with the other deck behind the scenes. Just Another Magic Monday. I have. The one that I can't show you guys until after the GP. I have been practicing with it quite a bit. And I actually just don't even own all the pieces for it on Magic Online is another reason Just a Magic Monday. Oh, you know what? Last night I wasn't feeling so hot, and I should have put something out on the Facebook page. Would you guys be interested in maybe doing Tuesday Brews Day tonight, like on a Wednesday? I did miss yesterday. I wasn't feeling very good, and I should have put up a message, but I feel a lot better today, which is good because I was able to do the coverage. But anyway, what are the other changes I thought about? If I was going to do the Nahiri sideboard, I actually wanted more Planeswalkers capable of it than just the Nahiris. Plus, people are going to be gunning for her. That's why the Jace was going to be there, because this is another way to get the Emrakul that doesn't get purged. Yeah. So, that was an idea that we had. What was some other spice I was thinking about? I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I actually just got totally away from the Crumble. And started running a shock, actually, a sudden shock, for all the Infect that we're going to see as well. Like, I think Infect's going to be really popular, and so is the Jeskai deck, and so is Tron and Jund. Brew, yeah, brew. But anyway. Other cards I thought about, but they're pretty adorable, was like, with all the Spellskite that I'm expecting, I was going to maybe try to sneak a twist into the 75. Arguably, Shock is more main deckable though. And then you get a sideboard twist, because this is a more efficient way to deal with Spellskite than, like, say, wear tearing it. So these are not tutorable, these are tutorable, this is tutorable, this is tutorable. So you get, like, I mean, not that you want to be tutoring Helixes, but you might have to. So it looks kind of like that. And then, yeah, so you get, like, you have a few different packages. So you got the Planeswalker package that find Emrakul. You've got some 1-mana spells and then some 3-mana spells. And then you've got additional Helixes if you go up against Burn or other aggressive decks like Zoo. So that was maybe a sideboard plan option for this. And then I did start considering the second Beck. Beck was really important to have an additional copy with, just because of hand hate decks. And then we considered the second Boom, I think. Especially with the Ghost Quarters and the Surgical. The second Boom happened, and then what else did we add? I think I added the fourth Muddle? The fourth Bolt and the fourth Muddle happened, and then what else? I think that was it. And this was a nice configuration. Like, I liked this in my testing, I'm worried about the matchups going in. But yeah, something like this is what I was considering. Just able to see the Boom Bust more and the Beck Call more naturally, but also able to tutor if the first copy is taken with a hand hate spell. This was a nice configuration. I actually liked this configuration quite a bit. If you want to get super greedy and techy, you can do this even, which I also considered, and then you turn the additional Bolt into... I still want the Dispel. It's not bad, Juice. Hearth Charm isn't modern legal? Yeah, true. What was the other sideboard card? It was a, something really spicy I liked, but I think I cut it. It was, I mean, it's just nice to talk about the what-ifs. Like, what if I could have played this version at the GP? I think it was either an additional Electrolyze or an additional Jace. It was either one more Jace or it was... Maybe it's another tutor target. I'm trying to remember what it was. What was it? Maybe it was the second Sudden Shock? I don't think so. I think I was just going to run a one-off. It's tutorable. Like, against Infect, the only spell I found that you could tutor up and not die was the Sudden Shock, by the way. It's the only one. This is other than that, against Infect, this is just, the Muddle just has to be counter a pump spell. The only spell that you're able to realistically tutor against Infect, like, let's say you do live long enough to make 5 land drops, and you're like, I want something more powerful than just sitting on a really not so great Dispel, is you could tutor up the Sudden Shock. But that's under the presumption that you have like a Ghost Quarter as well, potentially, to handle Inkmoth Nexi. Yeah, Ghost Quarter is well positioned right now because of Infect and Tron being things. There's also like all these Jeskai decks that are jamming like Colonnades, so you can Ghost Quarter them too. Maybe just go heavier on Surgical? I don't know. It would be cool to see what you can come up with Seasons Past. In Modern? Card's sweet. Yeah, the card is sweet. I really like the odds and end. I would even just run like another one in the sideboard. This card's been really underestimated. Even I underestimated it. Like being able to post-board fight Thrun more easily, without having to run like a clunky Wrath of God. Like a tutorable answer to fight Thrun or Bogles is insane for blue-white-red. I actually presume there's going to be quite a bit of Bogles. So I would be happy being heavier on odds ends. It's fantastic in Counter Wars. It also, yeah, doubles as a 2-for-1 in the deck. It's much stronger game 1 than it would be post-board, though, but that's a possibility to run more of this effect. You want to traverse the Uvenwald? I think it's a highly underrated effect. Highly underrated card. I've been happy casting this spell even without the Brain in the Jars. Even games after we sideboard, I'll sometimes leave... Like, I'll probably take out the Booms and the Becks when we take out the Brain. So it's usually... And this is what worries me, because it's usually that many cards come out for that many. Now, here's something to note. Boom Bust could stay in, so it's always about this 6 for this 6, by the way. But something to note is